John with Going Mobile. Today we are heading out to go replace a oil sensor possibly and an O-ring on a little payloader that a rancher out here has. So it's a little bit of a hike. It's an hour and 30 minutes from my base. But hopefully we can get him up and going. Then we gotta go back and look at another vehicle this afternoon that's eating coolant, which we'll see how that can be. That can be 100 different things, but the road's looking dandy. Really gotta be careful out here in these areas because you don't want to get stuck, especially when the machinery you are coming to look at doesn't run. And this thing is, well, it's a heavy brick and it does not like sand or loose dirt. So we'll see how we do and keep you guys in the highlights. Well, I'm out here at the job. Just a beautiful view all the way around. Just look at that. This is why I do mobile services. It's just you get out. You're out of the office, you're out of a building, you're out in nature, and it's just beautiful. But what we got is an oil sensor that went out on this old girl. And I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right down there-ish. Now, to get to it, if I remember correctly, I had to remove like half a dozen different things. But I was a little new at it, and today I'm hoping to be able to knock it out of there in a more impressive time frame to get it done. Now, leave it to Caterpillar to put something in a bad spot that is a pain in the butt to get to. Now, it wouldn't be too bad, but as you can see, I got to remove this panel. I gotta remove this plastic skirt, and that really doesn't help much because there's still this frame in the way, but it does give you just a little bit down there. So on that notion, I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing removed and hopefully get it reinstalled. But as you can see, they gave me an update, so I just love updates because it seems to be when they give them to me that nothing is the right size or the right shape anymore. But we'll see what we got. Let's open the circuit back up so we can not have any shorts or any issues like that, and we'll get her taken out. We'll see what we got. See me very well, but these are spark plug pliers, and when you got to remove those ends, they're really tight. I found that it works out perfect because you can bite them right there and then press down on that clip and pull them off, because without a pair of these, pulling that plug is like near impossible. So if you guys are doing this, pick you up some basic cheap spark plug pliers, or I think I picked these up at Harbor Freight. I've used them for every other thing but spark plug wires. As you can see, 90% of everything I do is a diesel vehicle, so there's not a whole lot of spark plug wires, but they have a ton of sensors and they're all really fidgety, so these work out perfect for those. There you guys go. Well, I finally got the item out. It's kind of a difficult item. You can't go in with your standard crow's foot because the way the item sits inside there, there's a casting part right off the end of the block, so it runs right into the crow's foot. You don't have any room on top because of the harness. You also working around cooling lines, and if you don't, if you remove the cooling lines, well, you got to put more coolant back into it. So that's out. Now we're going to go ahead and get the new one and get it put in. The new one, as you can see right there, it is a little different. It's a little better built. My guess is that this one right here superseded to this one because, well, this one goes bad and leaks oil down inside there, and when it starts doing that, it's usually a bad sensor. But We ran some tests on the machine, well, roughly about a year ago, and I hooked up a manual pump to it, or manual gauges to it, and ran it around, and it held oil pressure just fine. So what we come to believing is, once it pressures up, hits oil gets inside here, causes the electronics not to read correctly, causes it to show low oil pressure, due to the fact that we had it running on a gauge for 45 minutes to an hour, and everything was fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrestle that back into place, which isn't fun, but we can get it done. Got it in there, and let's see if we can see it. Oh, you see it down there? Let's see. Oh yeah, you guys can see it, can't you? It is the clean plastic piece. Let me get this positioned. See if you can see my hand in there. I'll put my finger on it. Oh, right there. You guys can't see it. Let me scoot you up over there. Okay. And now you can see it. It's right there at the corner of your screen. Triangle shaped item. That is the oil sensor for a cat. Yeah, 224G, I believe this is. So, like I said, it's kind of a pain in the butt. It's not too bad if you expect them. First time I did one, I spent about 20 minutes trying to chase one down. This engine, as you can see, looks relatively clean. That's because I spent time to clean it before dealing with it, because a good majority of the engine looks like this. There's what you see. That's what the good majority of the engine looked like. That up there, I cleaned all that. So there you guys go. I'm gonna shut my little lights off on my head, and I'll go show you a little bit of what it took for tools to do this. Okay, that's the assortment of tools you will need to do that job. I know it's just one sensor and it looks like, oh, that's abundance of tools. That's because there's things you have to get to that sensor. Okay, first off, you will need a 3/4 wrench. Don't have to be the wobbly end. I just did that so I could stick my finger in there and make the wrench shorter. You will need a 3/4 crow's foot. You will need a 3-inch extension. You will need a breaker bar 3/8, a 10mm wrench for another bolt that's in the way that you have to remove to get to the harness, get the harness freed up so you can get to it. A good ratchet, 3/8, which, yeah, did I say 3/4 on all those? Yeah, they're all 3/8. A 3/4 or 19mm short stubby wrench, which will take it off, and obviously the pliers I talked about before about undoing the electrical connection. 9 times out of 10 you will need to clean your job up. I use a all-safe, I should say earth-safe, biodegradable cleaning agent, due to the fact I normally work in fields and whatnot. So there we go there. Pressurize that. Then I airize it with the air on the truck to atomize it and then blow the debris off. You guys didn't catch it, but I did have peg mats down underneath of the machine, and it's just part of the job. You don't want to leave a mess. So what you do is you clean it up like that, and you know, it's just one of those things. You just have to charge them for the cleanup fee. You don't want to contaminate the ground, so that's what you do. So there we go. Now we're going to start this thing up, and he says he has another issue. The hydraulics are making noises, so my guess is he probably put the wrong fluid in it and wiped the seals out in the pump, or the pump's just, well, we're in the loader. All we got is the parking light on, nothing else showing up, so that's good. Now I'm going to place you guys somewhere and well, take this old girl for